Essentials Part 2, and I'm noticing I'm squinting. I'm going to change my glasses. What did I just say? Part 2. Someone said something to me the other day and said, "Where are you from?" I'm like, why? I can tell by your accent. I was like, what? I figure you're from New York or something like that. I never remember that I sound different to other people, and because I've been down here so long that I don't usually hear people's southern accent. Um, and now the Tennessee sound is sort of blended, so it just all sounds normal to me. Um, the reason why I said this is because I just realized that I tend to talk very fast. And that's because while I'm shooting this, I'm being conscious of the time, which is sitting right in front of me, and I'm trying to get the information out and I'm rushing. So forgive me for speaking too fast. Okay, and holding the short tripod. I didn't want to hold in my hand like this. So you ready? Part 2. Number 1, planning. Now, y'all can switch this. You can switch this around if you wanted to, and then this could be your the part 1 or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Let's go. Enough time wasted. Planning. Pick your destination. All travelers will tell you this. Have your destination picked out. But also be aware that your travel plans may end up going backwards, sideways, or any other way. So don't be too upset. But have a destination in mind. Hannah and I have always had a destination in mind. Even if we were going to go to, which is going to get down to number 3, actually, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit, which would be number 3. Even if we were driving, we first started, and we were driving to like Pennsylvania to a Christian concert, we had the destination of where we wanted to go. Hotel X, Y, and Z. And in between, we knew if we wanted to stop, where we were going to stop at. And if it got past a certain whatever. But that's coming up next. So always have your destination in mind. And plan that you might have a problem. Number 2, money. And backup. Cash on hand and your bank or credit card. If you're going to use your credit card or something else like that for backup, for hotels or stuff like that. You could pay a hotel in cash, but they will have your card to hold it or whatever else, so you need it. And then when you get there, you say, I'm going to pay in cash. I've done that many times. But, so money, both cash and plastic. If you, let's just say, perchance, you see something on the side of the road that looks so good. Man selling watermelon, people selling chicken. I don't care what it is. And you step outside that car and you pull out your plastic, and they're going to look at you like you're crazy. You stop at a farm, cash. You stop at certain gas stations along the road, coming south, going west, or something else like that. Their machine may be down, or they just take cash. And then you're going to be mad. So, again, always with your money, keep cash, half the other, or you don't have to have half cash, but have that way, and cash in your plastic. Keep money inside your car for gas, or just have gas money. Speaking of money, add to what I said in part 1 about your, everyday carry out the water, whatever. At least $20 inside your wallet. Wanna know why? If you're traveling within a city limits, you get lost or you get stuck. That $20 can probably get you a cab. Well, now we use electronics and stuff, but you get the point, right? That's a little bit of traveling money to get you where you need to go. Or if you need to eat in an emergency, or if you're traveling and you lost your wallet and whatever happened, I don't know, you got at least $20 for gas. So just have a little bit of money, just pocket change hanging around. Anyway, so let's get back to number 2. Number 2 was money, cash, and backup. Number 3, housing. Take a tent. If you're traveling across the country, take a tent. If you're traveling with your family, take the big family tent. Because sometimes you may not want to stay at a hotel, or if, again, you're doing a road trip, right? Campground will be cheaper. You put up your tent. If you don't feel like putting up the tent and you want to stop at a hotel, you can stop at a hotel. But at least you have the option, because if you don't have the tent, then you only have one option, sleeping inside the car, which is kind of cool though. But just as a backup. Now, housing, hotel stays. Pick them ahead. This goes right back to the first part. Pick your destination. Pick your hotel ahead of time. Do not wait for the last minute. If you wait for the last minute, you're going to pay premium dollars for it, and you're going to have to pay for something that you don't want, you don't need, especially for one night. Especially for one night. Always plan ahead. Planning a go across the country the first time and going down to Virginia or something else like that, I had in mind, let's say, when we went to New Mexico. New Mexico was the destination. So I picked the campground that we were going to be staying at the end of the travel. And the campground was it doesn't really matter. I'll put that in some other time. And so it had the wash machine, the laundry room, and everything else. It was great, shower and all the other good stuff. So that was the end. In between that was, okay, I'm going to drive add this right now with the planning. I'm going to drive for 10 hours. Stop. After 10 hours, we find a place to stay. When the first road trip, the first time going forward, I was trying to drive 14, 16 hours straight. I was dead tired. And that's how I know how you pay a lot. And I was trying to find a hotel at 4 o'clock. I was able to find stuff because that's when they're checking people in and out. Well, they check people out at a certain time. So we stopped at one place. I was too tired. It was getting too dark. It was too late to check in to the other campground. If I remember out, I'll tell you what it is. Because their cutoff is 3 o'clock. It was like 4. Then we kept driving. Then when I finally found a room, I said, let's stop over here at the store. Then I called the same hotel for that same room. It jumped up to $250. We slept in the car. I'm like, no. So that's how I learned. But when you're planning the destination, plan the time that you're going to drive, because there's no point in you being tired by the time you reach where you got to go, and you got to get up very early in the morning to start your trip again. You need to have a good night's rest. At least try to fake a good night's rest and lay down and relax your body and try to get some sleep before you start off. Now, in planning that, okay, we're going to drive for 10 hours. That includes the stops and everything else, right? Or maybe not include the stops. I'm going to drive for 10 hours. Where could we land up in 10 hours? Okay, well, it's getting kind of late. Let's book a hotel along the route and drive straight there. So now that becomes part of your destination. I'm not going to drive all the way to Kentucky. I'm going to stop over here in Alabama. So plan these things ahead so that you're not tired and you can get them out of the way. So that's that. C in that category is, I already said that. Okay, so number 4, your meals. For your meals, I'm sorry, I'm getting the thing all shook up. Oh, I'm sorry if you got dizzy. Okay, number 4, meals. Make a menu. Make a menu. Charlotte and I started this when the kids were little. But what we also used to plan was this is what we can make, this is what we're going to do this. And then comes to part B of number 4, your meals. Plan your takeout and your restaurant stops. Now, we were raising 6 kids. When we first started traveling, we traveled with the first 4, and then my son, Judah, was the baby, so he was being nursed, so his food was taken care of. Then later on, we were traveling with all 6 of us. And it got to the point where by the time we were traveling, six of us, they cost so much money. And it was, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's $12 a head. Each of you got $12 for your meal. And so we will go out and say, okay, well, this is what this person's going to get. And then we spent like that. Now, you always put a little side, a little extra. Remember what I said? Always put aside a little extra just in case you go over. But at least if you have a plan, you could stick to the plan, you won't go over. And at any point, you could always deviate. But if you have a plan, if you have your menus planned out, what you're going to be eating for this day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or maybe we'll get microwave oatmeal, we'll throw that inside the thing, eat that up, and just jump in the car. Plan your meals, it costs you less money and less of a headache. Number C. Why? Because of what I just said. It costs you less money. 5. Bathroom breaks. Plan your stops. Now, when we traveled with all of us, it was about every 2 hours. And we would get out for about 15 minutes. So that's my bottom line rule. 2 straight hours. Then you stop and it'll be like 15 minutes. And the 2 hours, another thing about the 2 hours, the 2 hours will also allow you the time between one exit and the next exit, or from point A to where you might run into a rest stop. And that gives you also time to get up and stretch your legs so that you're not just sitting down forever. And when you have a large bunch of kids, you need to make frequent stops. So, how long should your breaks be? Number 6, your breaks. About 15 minutes at each stop. That gives you time to run to the bathroom, stretch your legs. If nobody has to go to the bathroom, you stretch your legs. Now you've got that 2 hour window right before you stop again. Now, if no one went to the bathroom the first time, within that time period, you might, again, because you've driven so long, you might be coming up on a rest stop. So 15 minutes is great because you want to keep traveling. So 15 minutes, get out, run to the bathroom. 30 minutes for your meal breaks. That way you get to get out, you stretch, you eat, you have time to just slow down and stop and eat your food. Number 7, books. I'm going to flip it around. Let's do 8 first. Music. The driver's choice. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why. Not because I'm a man. Not because I leave my house. Because the driver is the one, the navigator is sitting right next to you, right? The driver is the one that has to drive. So they have to be calm and relaxed when driving. So whatever's calming that person down needs to be what's playing. Or if they don't want to hear any music, then fine. Then there's no music for that moment or those hours or whatever time period. They just need to hear calm and nothing when driving. I always travel with a bunch of CDs with a lot of different music. Now, here's how I traveled when we had my wife and my kids. And by the way, it's the driver's choice, not the kid's choice. Because me as a driver, if I have to hear Baby Shark 1,000 times, I'm killing everybody in the car. And here's another one. It's because your children will be listening to the music too. And so they'll grow up hearing classics or something else. But they'll listen to the music too, and that also elevates them in their taste to grow up so that they always have to hear baby music or something like that. Now, me as a husband and a father, all those years that I traveled, I kept in mind something or the style my wife likes, or something that the kids may be listening to, some sort of rock or something like that. So the mix of music would have that in there, but I would put it on at certain times when I was driving. Early in the morning, which would be the part B of that, there's no loud music in traveling. I have to ease into this because you want to start with loud music that's pumping and you get behind the wheel and you're stressed out with every other driver on the road. Because we all know that the driver is the best driver and everybody else is the problem. Got it? So that's the music. Now, Let's go to number 7. Books. Audio books or audio drama is awesome. Last time I was traveling with Hannah, I had picked up this, what was the name of that game we used to play? Rainbow Six, right? No, it was Rainbow Six. It was another game by, I'll probably remember when I'm done. And so they had a book version of it, but they had this full audio drama. And so we're listening to all the stuff going on, which was good because it's in the background of my head. I'm kind of listening to the words, but I'm paying attention to the drive. So those are great too, but sometimes it can have too much happening, with a siren and bullets flying. So, and you get straight audiobooks. Great fiction, thrillers, or if you want to do some political stuff, if you're driving and I'm driving by myself, I'll have some dry book that nobody else wants to listen to, some sort of academic. But in audiobooks, in place of music, again, driver, it's early in the morning, you don't want to hear any music, don't want to hear anything, put on a little audiobook and listen to that. So there you go. That is number 8. Is there any more to this list? I just covered the thing, didn't I? Okay, enough of the shaky cam. I think I covered all of my thoughts that was rattling in my head because I didn't actually. You want to see what that looks like? The ramblings of a madman. That's because I was in a rush to write this and get this done, and I thought that I can do all of that and just like do bullet points, but I forgot that I talk. So you don't get the bullet points, you get 2 20-minute videos of me running my mouth. But hopefully you did pay attention and you got down some really good notes, and that would take off your fear of traveling and being able to do it. Oh, I know what I forgot to put in there, because this, again, remember I said all my years of traveling. We're traveling with little kids. Switch seats. It's not enough that they get up and they get a break, but you also need to switch seats so everybody gets a chance to sit in the middle and someone by the window. So what we used to do, and think about this, we were in a van when we traveled. We had to rent the van. Pay for the navigation system, and my wife was the navigator, so I put in the directions, or I told her where we were going. We knew we were going at night. I would read the directions before. Back in those days, it was the kids probably don't even know how we travel. That stuff was MapQuest. So she printed all out. I'm looking at it turn for turn for turn. Then I rent the GPS, and the GPS was the main focus, but then we always had the written thing sitting right there inside the glove box. And I asked her to check it real quick if we needed to. But that was that. She printed out that, and that's how we navigated. But then she was the one that took care of the hotel planning. We've set it down together, but then she took the role of, okay, this is what we're doing, the itinerary, said okay with me, and then she would write and print that stuff out. Well, we also had seating arrangements for the kids. Not just to get them up and move their feet, but switching around, because it can become monotonous, even for them with a short 4-hour, 5-hour drive. They will go crazy. So you get up and you let them switch seats. It'll make you less crazy too. So that was one more thing that we did, especially with the little kids, was switch seats. You get out frequently, let them walk, let them run around. If you see like a really good rest stop, and you will find these way outside of New York. Texas has some of the greatest rest stops I've ever seen. Anyway, so you'll find a lot of these places, especially as you start moving south, that have little parks. Dog parks and human parks. Sure, kids can get out and just run around for a little bit. Or if it's a massive rest area, they can go and walk inside there and look at all the restaurant goodies that you're not going to buy them. But anyway, hopefully this helped you. It'll keep you from being, afraid. I'm sorry for the shaky camera, but if I had the other tripod, you would see me reach even further than right here to press the button. And that would annoy me. I'm the driver. I need to be calm and relaxed. So, any questions or comments, again, leave them at the bottom. If I forgot something, you have any questions, just ask me. Just ask. If I can think of it, I'll give it the answer. But yeah, so now that's all my years of traveling, including the latter years of adventure traveling. Now that's not camping and backpacking, although some of the very same things transfer over to that. Well, hopefully this information was good for you. Maybe someday I'll do it down to like 20 bullet points. But as for today, hope you enjoy that. And I'll see you out there on the road.